Hello and welcome to the channel. It's looking more and more likely that Manchester United won't be under new ownership in the summer after all. Apparently the executive co-chairmen, Joel and Avram Glazer, are confident that they'll secure outside funding that will allow them to remain owners of Manchester United and double the value of the club over the next decade. That's according to ESPN. Several other notable companies worth mentioning are the Elliot Investment Management, Ares Investment Corporation and Sixth Street Partners. Apparently they've all thrown their hat into the ring for a potential stake in United. So most recently, Carlyle Group has emerged and engaged in talks with the Glazers about potential minority investment. According to multiple reports, that company have $370 billion in assets. It's one of the world's, or America's anyway, largest private equity firms. And what does that mean? Well, basically it means if Joel and Avram Glazer are able to lock up the cash injection that they're actually truly looking for. Remember, they've not come out and actually said we completely want to sell the club. They just said they were looking at their options to raising finance. That's not their exact words, but that's what they've said they were going to do. So what does that mean? It means if they can lock up that any extra cash injection, it means that their siblings and fellow directors, so that's Kevin, Brian, Edward and Darcy, could offload their shares, are going to sell their shares. So it was rumoured that not all the Glazer family wanted to remain in a stake in United. So they would sell their minority shares outright and literally part ways with the club. But it's pretty obvious that wouldn't be very welcome, considering we've just gone through 2 rounds of bidding. And Qatar Sheikh Jassim bin Hamed Al Thani, what a name, and Sir Jim Radcliffe have admitted bids for more than £5 billion. So they've already submitted in round 2 bids of just over £5 billion each, which would have made at that time, just doing that would have made the sale of Man United the most expensive, the biggest record history. If you know what I'm saying, it would have made the sale of United the most, for lack of a better word, I'm losing my words here, bigger than the sale of any other sporting club in world history. It would have been massive. But as came out a week or so ago, the Glazers are actually looking for around $7.4 billion, which is about £6 billion. And the Qatari and Radcliffe aren't there yet. That's what they want, to be able to sell the whole thing by all accounts. And they've opened up a 3rd round of bidding, which if I remember right, the bids aren't due in until the 28th. I think they were pretty adamant that the bids didn't come in till the 28th, which was in itself was a little odd, just a little odd. And I think it was rumoured a few days ago, middle to the end of last week, that Sheikh Jassim was going to bid early anyway. Well, I kind of hope he does, because I want the Glazers gone. I want them gone. But anyway, he's going to have to at least bid what the Glazers want. He's going to have to call their bluff almost and bid that $6 billion and see what happens. I mean, do it sooner than later, because we need to get Ten Hag some transfer money. Because if the Glazers are staying, we just don't know how long it'll take for them, if they're raising money or selling the club, how long that will then take to get cash into Ten Hag's proverbial transfer budget. So all that's up in the air. You know, it's all right if you're a money man, but if you're just a football fan, or you're a coach, or you're a player, or you just have an interest in seeing things improve at Man United, yeah, okay, from a financial point of view that might happen, but from a playing football point of view and an Old Trafford, the state that it's in, none of that's going to happen if the Glazers stay. So, which is pretty shocking. Surprisingly, as a result of it being announced that the Glazers might consider kind of just raising cash in another way rather than selling to Sir Jim or the Qataris, United's stock fell, so its share price fell by 13% to $18.91. And that's some point this morning, Monday the 17th. It fell, which is its lowest price since November. Now, that's okay. That's a little stat, a little figure. But I've got to be honest, I don't care. I really do not care about United's share price. I couldn't care less, if I'm honest. I really couldn't. I'm just interested in what's going on the pitch, whether Ten Hag's going to get supported in the transfer window, and I don't want this transfer window to be just one long news story about when will we sign Harry Kane. I want to see multiple bodies coming through the door. I want to see multiple dead weight players leaving. You know, and I want that money, especially if the Glazers stay. If people leave, I want that money to stay or be put into Ten Hag's transfer kitty. You know, so let's say the Glazers have got 100 million for him and he can raise 60 million from sales. 160 million, you know, two quality players maybe. And, you know, I wouldn't say I would be happy with that, because that would mean we're generally looking towards the January transfer window again to kind of bolster the squad. I mean, look at the state we're in now. Really, we needed another good quality centre-back to cover, or two more good quality centre-backs. I did a video earlier today about Victor Lindelof and how he's United's third choice centre-back right now, and how he's kind of a solid and Mr. Dependable. Yeah, he's not top quality, but he's definitely leagues ahead of Harry Maguire. And, you know, I'd like Harry Maguire to go and Lindelof to stay. But obviously, if Ten Hag gets money to spend in the summer, then he can look. You know, if Lindelof wants to leave, then we can let him leave. But only if Ten Hag has the finances which come from the sale of the club, the sale of dead weight players. But either way, Ten Hag needs money. Without money, we will not challenge. We'll not challenge next season for the Prem. We'll not push on from this season. I mean, as I sit here right now talking to you, it looks like this season's going to be a top four, so third or fourth finish, with at least one cup, which we've already got. And compared to the last 6 years, that is definite progression. But real progression would be success in the transfer window. You know, for me, when we start next season, our first game of the Premier League season will be, I will see success as being we are ready from a squad point of view. So that doesn't just mean that Ten Hag's got money to buy players. It also means that he's had time with those players. So we're not that kind of dragging out, having these long sagas with player transfers. And so that means they miss, you know, some players might miss the tour, and so not know their squad mates, their teammates. So basically, for the first few games of the season, Ten Hag and his team will be assessing that player's fitness and so on and so forth. So they won't play. They won't play bit parts of the first few games in the Premier League next season. We don't want that. We want to hit the ground running with a full strength squad and push on. So what's the message? Glazers out. We want you gone. That's all we want. We want you gone. Stop trying to raise money so you can make more profit and sell United on in a decade. By that time, I don't know, what will have happened to Old Trafford? What will have happened to Old Trafford? I mean, how many more? They'll have thrown Ten Hag under the bus by then, and will probably have moved on to another manager. Yeah, if they sell, Ten Hag gets the support he needs, we can have some success and can try and build back to hopefully where we were prior to Alex Ferguson retiring. What are your thoughts on everything I've said in this video? Please let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and if you can subscribe, please do. Thank you very much.